Annyeong! Welcome to Dollightful! I usually don't make behind-the-scenes videos like this because there's simply no time. You gotta move on to that next project, you know? But many of you expressed interest in the paintings that appear in Heathcliff's video during the short skit at the end. Honestly, I'd love to tell you more about the paintings and what went into each one, so let's get right to it. The 3D scene itself was assembled and rendered by my super talented husband, you know him as Hubby-lightful. This was the first time we've ever tried green screening a doll into a moving 3D background, and I think it worked out pretty well. Obviously, we wanted to quickly convey a sense of history to this character, and showing you portraits of him throughout time seemed like an easy and fun way to do it. I began with your classic oil painting portrait of a rich guy, you know, something in the vein of Velázquez or Van Eyck, but like 1600s-ish. I would have spent much longer on all the paintings, but I had to bat these out in under 3 days so that I could finish editing the video. So I did have to take some shortcuts. This one's digital. I used a program I just discovered called Rebel 5. It's great for making digital art look more traditional. Highly recommend it. That's me, of course, and I came back later with some better reference of my husband. Here's some progress shots. I stole the fruit from another still life painting, one of my own college works, actually. With a little tweaking and color correcting in Photoshop, I called it done. The other paintings and drawings were less involved. Moving on past the Renaissance portrait, we have a pen and ink drawing of Heathcliff moving overseas. We can only assume his coffin is on board the ship. I love drawing in pen and ink, it's my favorite medium. Again, to save time though, I did lift elements from other drawings from that time period and sketched them in. That way I knew it was accurate and I didn't have to waste time finding, 1854 ship references. After that, we've got a turn-of-the-century Picasso-esque portrait. This is a mashup of two of his styles, the looser gestural quality of like his couples kissing paintings, and the widely recognized surrealist portraits. There's the inspiration on the right. Picasso usually minimizes the mouth into a single line or less, so I just had to wing it with the vampire's big open maw. Is this how Picasso might have done it? Next, we move on to the 1930s-ish time period because I simply had to include a J.C. Leyendecker reference. A lot of you commented about this one, which makes me happy. I didn't have time to do a full color drawing of Heathcliff in Leyendecker's style. To do the artist justice, I would need at least 2 months or more to make a decent attempt. So I did a simplified but still recognizable homage to his arrow collar and shirts gentleman. Leyendecker isn't as well known as Norman Rockwell, for example, so if this is your first time hearing the name, please go look through his work. He's one of my favorite artists, and arguably one of the best illustrators to ever grace this earth. Pop art is another easily recognized period for viewers, and it was fun to use bright colors and halftones. I did a pencil sketch first before coloring it digitally in Photoshop. Clearly, I was aiming for some 50s high school comic here. If you look closely at his letter jacket, you can make out DL for Dollightful. And lastly, the photo booth photos. These are a fad right now, and I love doing these with my family and friends. It's always a blast. So even though it's not a painting, I wanted to end the series with a modern representation of more the Halloween characters interacting, and this seemed like the perfect way to do it. You get a sense that Heathcliff is kind of vain and wants to be in the center of every photo, but then so does Ember, so maybe they butt heads a little bit. Meanwhile, the Banshee is kind of third-wheeling in the background because she's too shy to take center stage. We needed more paintings to flesh out the gallery and appear in the background, and luckily I've built up a decent portfolio of still lifes and landscapes. If you'd like to look through more of my paintings and drawings in better resolution, I've got a website. I haven't updated it in ages. The YouTube channel has become my career and taken over my life, so my online portfolio gets a bit neglected. But there it is for your perusal. Thank you so much for walking through Heathcliff's gallery with me. I love art history, and I know a lot of you do too. There are a lot of fellow artists who watch this channel, so I'm very flattered that you guys were interested in knowing more about the paintings. It's a little embarrassing to talk about my own work for so long, so I'll end it here. I hope this was fun, and I'll see you next time. Stay artsy! Annyeong!